If instead of rebooting movies, retelling them from a different point of view became popular, which movie would you like retold? A disabled and disfigured war hero, long past his prime, hunts down a cell of terrorists, capturing one of their leaders, but not before she's able to send a message call his former mentor out of retirement. In the process of retrieving the message, a family of locals is caught in the crossfire, which said former mentor uses to his advantage to radicalize the adopted son of the family. The boy manages to destroy a critical military base, giving the terrorists legitimacy, and builds up a name for himself over the years. As the boy's exploits become more and more legendary, our hero comes upon a shocking revelation. The boy is his own son, hidden away by his former mentor. He tries and fails to convince his son to join him, but the son rejects him, forcing him to choose between his honor and his family. Star Wars would be wild. I want to see a Batman movie from a goon's point of view. Like, he wakes up and eats some cereal before meeting up with the crew, and just by chance he hung out with Joe the Goon that day instead of Bob. Now he is just gooning around at night, when all of a sudden he gets his ass kicked in by fucking Batman. He can't believe his bad luck, and just like that, he was gone. Coolest fucked up thing to ever happen to him. An alien invasion movie told strictly from the aliens' perspective, complete with their confusion about why the humans are responding the way they are. It would make sense to us, but would take the narrative form of mystery for them. It could be a clever way to illustrate cultural misunderstanding. An example could be let's show them we are friendly by revealing all our weapons to demonstrate we aren't hiding anything, which the humans would take as a threat. I always liked that about the Borg on Star Trek. They genuinely thought they were helping the people they were conquering. A villain is scarier when it thinks it's doing the right thing. I'm weirdly qualified to answer this given the fact that I'm writing a quantitative analysis on the entire Air Bud plus Air Bud series. Basically, in the Air Bud movie, no one was specifically pulled from the team or the game to make room for Buddy. Rather, we see through the movie that one of the kids who got taken out of the team because of his father, thus triggering the need for Buddy to play rather than simply being the halftime show / mascot. The kid being taken out of the team by his dad was actually a really interesting plot point, because his dad was super arrogant and overbearing and clearly forced a lot onto his son. A story from the kid's point of view would likely end up being very depressing because of this. Air Bud surprisingly had a few reoccurring themes of abuse which added a bit of a dark depth to it, which really set it aside from the other Air Bud movies. I could go on about this forever. I would think Aliens from Newt's perspective would be pretty substantial. How a girl survived all that and the loss of her family alone on a foreign planet. Edit. And to clarify, as I wasn't expecting this to blow up lol. Thank you all. It would be essentially the story of Newt living on Hadler's Hope, some background with her and her family, to the point her parents get face hugged, how the aliens slaughtered the colony, how Newt survived in the air ducts, and what she lived through, while ending with Ripley finding her and bringing her back to the Marine Operations Base. It would be set as a claustrophobic horror movie. With a good script, this movie could easily do $300 millimo. God, can you imagine that? She would have advised generations of emperors, likely watched the whole empire grow into what it is. Then, one day, the current emperor dies and suddenly there's a baby as ruler. He grows up spoiled, spends frivolously on himself, ignores the problems of the people, and has a personality so unpredictable, he executes commoners for like nothing. Keep in mind the old man who threw off his groove only survived because he happened to get tangled up in a tapestry. Isma was watching the empire she loved, arguably the one that she built, go down a path of ruin because of the whims of a spoiled narcissistic child. Her actions seem pretty reasonable in that light. TBH, the Matrix isn't his battery factory, right? It belonged to the Sentinels and has just a program they made to maintain its order. Has as much a prisoner as the people trapped within the Matrix. Honestly, the fact that Smith wants out, even after Cypher shows such disdain for the real world and wants to back into the Matrix, is what really make his desire to be free so damn interesting. They kinda explored that theme with the kid and the parents on the train station as well. The machines are as oppressive to themselves as they are to the humans. If you don't have a purpose, they delete you. The Matrix could have used cows for the entire thing. Just an endless green field of happy cows, forever. What does a cow want, after all? Instead it opted to give humanity an existence. It even tried to create a perfect world for them, but some restriction of its AI or humanity's basic hubris meant that it just had to go back to a relatively peaceful point in history, the 1990s, and give them that instead. Despite the fact that humanity fought a genocidal war against it and lost, it still did this. Even when we kept on fighting and fighting, and even conjured up some sort of messiah figure, it just let us get on with it in our silly little world. The Matrix showed us vastly more compassion than we would have shown it if the war had gone the other way. Edit. Yo, I have about 100 replies now. Thank you all for taking the time to do so, and I'll try to get back to you with my half-baked thoughts as soon as possible. The game starring Michael Douglas. I want to see it from Consumer Recreation Services point of view. I want to see how they manage all the actors and situations to make sure everything goes the way they want it. Edit. I want to thank everyone for agreeing this movie is great, underrated, and the upvotes. Thank you to /u/Blogsley for the silver. People brought up Cabin in the Woods. My issue with Cabin in the Woods is those people didn't know beforehand what might or was going to happen. Michael Douglas' character knew about the organization and how Sean Penn's character talked about the experience. Also, it's in the woods. The game was done in San Francisco, so if this movie was done, you can show different parts of San Francisco like the Golden Gate Bridge in different areas of San Fran these actors live in. The Truman Show. Truman grew up in front of the cameras in a fictional town. Michael Douglas' character does neither. Just explaining why the villain did what the villain did without the vague bullshit of to get power or to become all powerful. Like Black Panther gave a legit motivation to Killmonger, that this resource-rich secret African nation exists even back in the day of the Atlantic slave trade and they never lifted a finger to defend their fellow Africans. Wakanda is pretty messed up. No one is a villain from their own perspective. Why does the villain think they are the good guys? Harry Potter is told from the viewpoint of a random Hufflepuff of the same age. My first year at Hogwarts, Harry Potter and his idiot friends broke every rule, and so the headmaster gave them all the points to make us last in the house cup. My second year at Hogwarts, Harry Potter starts talking to snakes and all of a sudden a bigger snake tried to murder my friends. My third year at Hogwarts, Dumbledore made us sleep on the floor like live bait because someone was trying to kill Harry Potter. My fourth year at Hogwarts, Harry Potter finishes a fun contest over the corpse of like the coolest Hufflepuff ever and so they gave him a big bag of fucking money. My fifth year at Hogwarts, Harry Potter gets everyone tortured by this Umbridge psychopath because he wouldn't shut up and formed an illegal rebellion all while I have to take my most important exam ever. My sixth year at Hogwarts, Harry Potter is found with another goddamn dead body and the one night it was so hot I slept in the bath I had to wake up and fight more people trying to kill Harry Potter. My seventh year at Hogwarts, when I still had to wake up in the middle of the night to fight the Dark Lord and his army, all of whom of course showed up to kill Harry Potter, despite the fact he wasn't even here this year. Fuck this school. Harry Potter. I'm bewitching a rich muggle and moving to Tahiti. Maybe it'll be a good movie, but it certainly won't be a good representation of the book. The entire plot has been changed, if the trailer is to be believed. Artemis is a good guy who knows nothing about crime. His father is a protector of humanity. Holly Short is just kind of there and helping Artemis save his father. Don't go in there expecting the book. So they just took the names and made it into another bland Hollywood movie. Cool. Not Fight Club, but from the POV of one of the people who becomes part of their club. Possibly from Angel Face, so we see how he was going about life, and how he got roped into everything, and his justification for continuing to stay. Could be an interesting movie, to see it maybe start out with him as a kid, and make it seem light-hearted, and then show the up life he would have that would make him want to take this dark spiral. So there was this surgeon, and he was super good at guessing songs, and I mean super good. He can name the title, artist, and year release date, so he's like a better version of my Uncle Danny, the one you met in February. Anyways, this dude can name songs while slicing, dicing, and removing foreign objects from brains, like he got some serious skill, and we are talking serious. So this song dude, he be driving with his fancy watch in his fancy car, going faster than. I adored Maleficent, and have been so mad that instead of tons of amazing live action retellings, all we are getting is a ton of reboots that just retell the original movie but in live action. Ursula was supposedly Ariel's aunt, which has so much room for potential. And in a vein similar to Maleficent, I would actually really love to see a Snow White retelling where instead of the villain protagonist dying at the end, the evil stepmother actually is able to reconcile with her stepdaughter. We see so much step-family tension in pop culture and media. I wish we could get some reconciliation instead. Aladdin was a disappointment. The trailer looked like it was going to be an interesting mix of Broadway and Bollywood musical performance traditions, but instead it continued to be all Broadway with some vaguely South Asian TM aesthetic slapped onto it. So now, even though Mulan was my favorite Disney movie, I'm much less optimistic about it, despite how much more divergence there is between the trailer and the animated movie. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you would like to see more, feel free to subscribe.